Greetings and welcome to another episode of Let's Play UFO Afterlight. Right, you're building excavation sites, and then the science craft is gonna turn back home. That's absolutely fine. Let's see, what is my technical vehicle doing? You've just been given a few more things. You know what? You're actually quite close by. Why don't you finish those off first? Did that work? Right. And let's see, the Moria and the Ukrainia, right. So the Moria needs to be a little bit higher on the list. Alright, go.
A member of your team has finished training. A member of your team has finished training.
Alright. Ooh, you're leveled. Good. Alright, your aiming needs to be improved.
Who could increase his or her level.
And you just need to be fast. And good at snapshotting. Let's get you a little bit of intuition, I guess. Alright, you get more strength. You also went up. Let's get your mental potency up to at least average. Maybe you'll actually start sensing stuff. Alright, you have no training points, you have one training point. What to give you? Kinda would like to give you minus stalking.
You may assign people to specific buildings.
Whereas you could probably do with some of the cover training. But you'll have to get out of things first. Right, for now that'll have to do. Crystal mining. Well, I do have the experts in there, so...
Some of the scientists are unemployed.
A member of your team is completely healed.
Right, so Harold can now go with training.
A new item has been produced.
New technology has been researched.
Right, we finished crystal stuff. Right, so now we're starting on the alien biology. Jean could probably help with that.
Research will progress faster if the more...
Which means Agnieszka can finally get something else done. So... Jean, you go give these guys a hand.
Some of the scientists are unemployed.
And production-wise, did that yield us anything new? The mine dismantling set.
Some items cannot be produced without sufficient access to the raw materials.
Now, don't get me wrong. This is probably a very fine idea that the developers had for dealing with mines. But I think you're gonna guess what I'm gonna say. It's absolutely useless in the field. Because for one thing, in order to use that, you need to be right on top of the mine, which is exactly where you don't want to be. By the time you find mines that way, by actually being on top of them, you're already in deep shit, because the moment you detect a mine, which is essentially when it's being activated, if you don't use any other means of detecting it, by the way, you essentially, any single move will make it go off. And no amount of armor will protect you from that. Mines are very deadly in this game. The mine dismantling set sounds nice in theory.
Some
but
items
it's
cannot
just
be
not
produced
useful.
without sufficient
And,
access
as
to
we'll
the raw
find out
materials.
later on, there is a much easier way of dealing with mines, once you know they're there. because you can detect mines if you've got the proper skills, like surveyor and possibly some detection equipment. Not that that is of any real importance right now. Let's see, don't think anything else has been discovered just yet. Alright, overview, we are currently not really doing anything special.
We hold some raw...
A member of your team is completely healed.
A new station has been built on the planet. Input of resources has been increased.
Results! We finally produce enough metals that we have an excess. So, while I could go with anything else, let's go with the this first. And actually I can actually also put in the advanced foundry, which can go in there. And now I need some people in civil engineering again. Ooh, Edgar, you're not doing anything? Well, you can go into civil engineering.
Some people may have more than one.
And Vera, you're not doing anything particularly important. Go help with this.
The aliens have occupied neighboring territory.
We can attack new territory.
A member of your team has finished training.
Right. And that's pretty much all the land immediately available to us that is of any particular use. The island Moreau is probably a good idea to take next. It's fairly benign.
You may assign people to...
A new station has been built on the planet.
Alright, so we've built the excavation site, which means I think my science crew is almost done. Yeah, they're just going to Cornucopia. And then I'll let them return for a bit so that they can
Technical level of a character has been increased.
Improve their skills a bit. Alright, so how long will this take? 10 hours, and this will take 8 hours. That's fine.
A new station has been built on the planet. Input of resources has been increased.
Alright, so now our fuel is adequate. Now the only thing left to do,
we'll be able to construct a new building,
is get our chemicals up to adequate. Groaning frustration, if you will. Now, to find chemicals, it's gonna be tricky, because I don't think I have any more available to us. There's basically white land. And that's all. Nothing else here has chemicals. Aside from, of course, Pyrrha's plane. I'm not gonna betray them just yet. Not yet.
A member of your team has finished training.
Alright, so Harold has finished that training. Alright, let's get major cover as well.
His or her level.
The major cover training is... It's sort of useful. I'm gonna use it mostly on Harold and Samantha because, well, they have to be crossing into friendly fire to get close enough to the enemies to actually do their job. I'd rather not have them get hit in the back, because that's not good for morale. Not that your soldier will be panicking all that much, because they have actually fairly stable constitutions, but still, they may panic. Right, how is the terraforming? 5%. Well, I'm not really seeing anything just yet. And the game agrees with me. Because you see, if once the terraforming really starts getting into going, this image of Mars will change. It will not accurately reflect the level of terraformation, but it will change. Can I offer equipment? If I have that, sure.
A new building has been constructed at the base.
Alright, so now we have a metal store, which instantly increases our metal capability to large. Because the warehouse gives a plus to whatever you're doing.
A new building has been constructed at the base.
Alright, so now we have an advanced foundry. This is not a new building, but rather a advancement on what we already have. Alright, let's keep having enough in store so we will not run out. Because we will run out. We will always run out. At the moment I don't think I can make anything particularly useful with the new advances. Because I just don't have the technology for it. But it should help speed things up, I think. That's what it does. Let's see. That's the thing.
We are now able to construct a new type of building.
Yeah. It's just useful for some items, but I currently don't have anything particular in that regard.
A new item has been produced.
A member of your team has finished training.
Alright, Inge has finished her training. Currently can't give her anything else. Right, who else is in research that is not currently needed?
Research will progress faster if the more experienced scientists participate.
Life support might be also useful.
Some of the scientists are unemployed. We could consider building a new lab.
Most of these are complicated. And we also have our first bit of beastman technology that we can research. Well, let's just get the stimulants out of the way. As well as the life support. The supercomputers are not immediately necessary. Right, nothing else new that I can research.
New technology has been researched.
Alright, so what does the alien technology actually, biology, just give us? We've developed the techniques and tools necessary to study alien anatomy and physiology. When soldiers bring back dead aliens back to the main base, we'll be able to dissect the corpses and discover their strengths and weaknesses. Sweet! But we need a pathology department, which I guess we will now be able to build. Yep.
If we get more raw materials, we'll be able to construct. A new station has been built on the planet.
A member of your team has finished training.
We have discovered and explored new territory.
A new building has been constructed at the base.
Alright, so now our fuel stores are up to large as well. Which is great. Alright, Agnieszka, you get...
There is someone who could increase his or her level.
You get... Let's actually train you in minor alien biology, I think. Let's actually double check.
There are new items in this section.
Alright, major in the... Alright, that doesn't do anything particular. Because I thought there might be some crossover with combat skills in that major alien biology might give you a better chance of striking critical damage at enemies, but it doesn't do that in this case. Fine. I mean, there might be a more relevant skill. I'm not seeing it. No. Alright, well that's fine. But since we do need the alien biology trained...
Some people may have more than one class.
Let's get that going. This is a pure science pursuit.
Reticulan spaceships landed in our territory and immediately started military operations.
They appear to have nothing in common with the Reticulans we know from Earth. They did not make any attempt to contact us, and their technologies are somewhat different.
Over the last few days, we have observed several bodies in outer space, but they are mostly traveling towards Earth.
We must keep on trying to communicate, but in the meantime, we have to defend ourselves.
We have contacted the new Reticulan arrivals at last. Until now, we could do nothing but fight them. Their main intention is to punish those members of their race who refuse to accept the decision of their civilization and tried to destroy Earth. They themselves have had nothing to do with this activity, and they regret the thwarted development of civilization. If we want an alliance with them, we must break any peace agreement with the rebels. If one exists, that is.
Peace is better than war. What are their other goals? Do they look only for ceasefire, or are they willing to accept cooperation on a larger scale?
If we desire, they are ready to forge an alliance with humans. However, they reserve the right to postpone the decision, as they have no experience with our civilization, and they are not sure if we are trustworthy.
Their cousins destroyed our home planet, and they doubt our trustworthiness? All right, a ceasefire is the most important thing at this moment. To leave our hands free for the war against the Beastmen.
They have also known the Beastmen's aggression, so they will enjoy the peace as well.
Right. A choice to make. Now, there is absolutely nothing stopping me from staying loyal to the Reticulans and declaring war on the expedition, if I'd want to. I would get exactly the same result as getting the Reticulan tech from the expedition rather than the Reticulans. Whether or not you trust them, that's another thing altogether. As it stands, however, you can also declare war on both of them, if you want. Take the entire world for yourself, if you think you are ready. That's also okay, and a path to victory, if you can do it. I intend to actually work with the expedition because I kinda like them. And because they give me benefits. There are some consequences to that, however, that you should be aware of. The most logical of these is that the Reticulans that are currently on our side are, of course, of the faction that we're gonna betray. So they're going to leave, and they're going to take all the stuff they have given us with them. This can be a problem, but it doesn't have to be. In particular, the equipment I'm referring to is their guns and the armor. Now, the armor is actually not as big a loss as it may seem, because despite it being useful and all that, it's actually not of the similar technology that the expedition uses. They use something else entirely. Now, there is a way to hold on to the armor if you really want to. You can just pick it up and put it in your storage, in your trash heap, in the storage, and the game will not recognize that it's in there and will therefore not give it back to the Reticulans. But of course, that's not and then you can use it, but then you can keep it. But you can't use it with the new Reticulans because they have their own technology. In this case, however, break treaty and suggest peace. They rejected our offer, alright. Suggest alliance? No. So now we have missions that are actually easier at night. Now, we are being invaded over here. Ooh, so the activity is moving up again. We have some time. That one I can't deal with yet. That's fine though. I want the Pyrrhus plane. Right, is my squad ready?
You must give some equipment to the team as well.
You just get out of there. Let's give you some equipment. And you're just coming along as a soldier for this one. And as far as devices go... Right, you're ready. Well, next time then. It is time to turn our back on our Reticulan friends in favor of our new Reticulan friends. See you next time.